Welcome back to episode 265 of the Bad Taste Video Podcast. I'm Mike. I'm here with I gotta start thinking of good things for you again. I kind of like doing that. Like, it gave me like a...
Oh, God.
What? It's like doing crossword puzzles every day. Like, that's my thing. Like, I'm gonna start like thinking of fucking nicknames for you.
Well, do your fucking homework there, brother. Let's get it going then. If you're gonna do it, let's do it.
All right. But this week we're back with a very special movie done by a very special man, right? Somebody that we hold in very high regard, somebody near and dear to our hearts, and that's Tim Ritter. But this
Royalty.
Bad Taste Video royalty, horror
Bad
royalty. Fuck the mainstream. Because
I like that.
This week we're talking about Wicked Games, Truth or Dare 2.
Welcome to a viewing or observation of Wicked Games, Truth or Dare Part 2. Made in 1993. It was a lot of fun to make. The official sequel to Truth or Dare, A Critical Madness, which was shot on 16 millimeter. Took about 5 or 6 years to get the sequel going, and ended up shooting it on Hi8 Video. And on a very small $12,000 budget back in 1993 and 94. So I hope you enjoyed the feedback here and seek out the movie. Appreciate everybody keeping the movie alive after all these years. A lot of fun to make, a lot of sex, violence, crazy stuff, crazy murders, over-the-top madness, and a lot of fun to make. So, Wicked Games, Truth or Dare, Part 2.
There he is. The man
himself.
The myth, the legend, Tim Ritter. As you may or may not know, we did a live viewing of Day of the Reaper way back when with him on Twitch, which was fucking awesome, right?
The Q&A was a fucking dude. He couldn't be a better host, man, to come on with us and to chat it up. All the questions, he was right on the ball, answering everybody. We gotta schedule something again. Now that we're here on YouTube, we gotta have a party. We gotta have a Tim Ritter party.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
If you guys like Wicked Games, there's plenty more of these ones. Plus, there's a whole other box of worms we can get into with his movies. So hopefully we can get Tim on again for a little Q&A with everybody.
Yeah, for sure. E.K. Wimmer from the Laser Graves podcast, BTV, with the celebrity intros. Hey man, we've had a few of those in the past, right? We have fucking
we did our homework.
Yeah, we've had fucking the Young God, Leif Yonker. Fucking, he did one for us. I think we've had Tim Ritter do one for us before. Shit, bro. We have the fucking intro from the Crypt Keeper himself, John Kassir.
That's right.
Right? That's something that's fucking awesome.
We had a few more too. Like I used to go hard trying to get those, but it's worked out in our favor to like build these awesome relationships with dudes like Tim and Leaf and everything. But as soon as I reached out to Tim, he was like, "Oh, absolutely, dude. Here's a fucking little explanation." And all the info you get right there. That's all you need to know about this movie.
Yeah.
The format, the budget, the sex, the violence, the fucking rock and roll, man. Like, this dude could be our fucking father. Let's be real.
Awesome tape, right? Awesome artwork. Wicked Games, fucking damn, Beyond Passion. I like that, man. Would you think this is a horror film? Well, this obviously makes you think it's a horror film, but like the front of this kind of looks like softcore, like adult entertainment, right?
I don't
like
know.
it's
The mask there in the back is definitely
the copper
a
mask.
little horror-esque, but the S&M little tie-up lady, that's it's a different genre altogether. So
Dude, I
see what
love
you're
all
going with.
I love all the Twisted Illusions releases. Like,
Oh man,
shit,
if you
man.
could see my studio, I'm legitimately completely covered in fucking Tim Ritter and Twisted Illusion fucking posters that I've obtained through him and shit. And I'm looking at all the different Truth or Dare ones right now. And dude, they're awesome. There's so many of these movies, Deadly Dares and stuff like that. So if you like this, some of the clips we show you guys, hunt this movie down, check it out, and then dig into all of these sequels that the Copper Mask Killer gets into, man.
Yeah.
What do you think of this guy as a killer? Do you like
I love
this
it,
concept?
dude. What's his name? Mike,
Great.
right? I think his name's Mike, isn't it?
The original one, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right. Yeah. The OG Copper Mask Killer. You know, I like the whole like him. He's a normal guy and just that's it. He just snaps one day, right? Like that's it.
This is it, man. Truth or Dare, you know?
I love that. Like the fucking sitting by like the fire, right? Like
The
that's
girl.
yeah.
Dude.
That's
One of the best scenes ever.
I really, really, really enjoy that fucking movie. This one though, I was saying to you before, way better than the first one. I think this is peak. Like this is like peak Truth or Dare is the second one, like for sure to me.
I didn't know you had this kind of admiration for this movie. Like
Yeah.
I knew you we typically enjoy all of Tim's movies. We all I have my hierarchy of the ones that I love. Killing Spree and Creep being 1 and 2. But after rewatching this again, I get what you're saying, dude. I love Truth or Dare. It's hard for me to put this one above that just because of my love for that movie. But story-wise, man, this takes it up a notch, and it's amazing writing. It's really fucking complex and cool.
Yeah. This one, so my favorite Tim Ritter movie is Day of the Reaper. That's number one for me. And then I'm going to say Killing Spree is 2. And this is my number 3. Like you can't beat those two, but like this one comes pretty close. There's something about the story. Joel Wynkoop in this movie is fucking great. This is probably his best role, I think, at least. Better than Rot, better than fucking Creep, because this feels almost like Creep a little bit. You know what I mean?
It does have that vibe, but his role, I think, is he plays a better role in this movie.
Yeah, this has that fucking 90s Florida vibe, right? 90s Florida was a different place.
And like, and Wynkoop plays, what is his name? Dan in this movie, I think. He's like this detective.
He's a cop. Yeah.
And he's a cop, basically. And dude, he nails this role. Like, once you see like some of the stuff we're going to get into here, he is the fucking like sweaty, greasy fucking cop that's like corrupt and shit. And he reads that from a mile away. I couldn't ask for a better role for Wynkoop for this one, man.
Yeah, he's like riding the line between his character here and his character in Creep. You know what I mean? It's
100%.
Kind of close.
Yep,
Kind of close. You want to give a little synopsis of this movie?
Oh man, this is a complex one where we have we have kind of like this character who's like a red herring in a way that we get to meet, who. This is a hard one to explain, man, because like it all intersects at the end there with like these crazy twists.
I got it. There's a killer on the loose that's killing pieces of shit people. Who is it? Is it Mike, the Copper Mask Truth or Dare killer? Or is it somebody else? Dun, dun, dun.
Exactly. The way you just phrased that.
But so we're
story
just now,
but like the story is fucking complex, man. Like you put it pretty simply there, but like the way this whole thing is laid out is fuck, and it all really revolves around our early 90s Kenny Powers, right? I mean, I guess that's what you would call this guy, Gary, which is great. That's my dad's name, so it makes it fucking even better for me.
That's like the first thing that I think of now post Eastbound and Down when I see this is fucking Kenny Powers, because he like says shit too that's very like Kenny Powers-esque. He does things that are very Kenny Powers-esque. It's fucking hilarious.
So like, let me lay this out a little bit here. So this is kind of like one of our main characters, Gary here. He's also like a detective, I guess, in some way.
He seems more like
but
a private eye.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like, yeah, like a dick.
Yeah.
And like his wife has left him for this other man, and he's a fucking booze hound now, and he's doing these wild things like showing up at her house with with a gun and like fucking with him. And dude, like the opening scene is nuts. But after this opening scene, and we kind of just we see what kind of person Gary is. We have this Kenny Powers beach montage, like deep thoughts. And like this is like this is the second scene of the movie, and you're just like, what the fuck am I in for?
Well,
this is gonna be incredible.
This is like a combination of Kenny Powers and like that picture of Bret Hart, like fucking like
I know sitting on the rock, we're looking out on the fucking waves, dude. It's exactly
but just
that.
look at this guy. Look at him. The glasses, the mullet.
The fucking man, dude. Gary.
One thing I didn't look up, who did the music to this? Because it almost sounds like Matthew Jason Walsh.
It could pretend. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it was, but like it has that kind of same vibe to it. I love this. Sitting on the fucking rock.
Rich Hoops. Look at him sitting on the rock. Look, that's
what
the fucking
vibe,
that, or like the Macho Man on the fucking boardwalk, like
dude,
sitting there on the pier.
Such a fucking vibe.
What a vibe, man. I wish I had hair so I could fucking do that.
Oh, I was just thinking the same thing, man. If I wasn't fucking bald, that would be the look, man. I would just. I'm jealous of everybody that has hair, just so you guys know, because like you guys can just change the way you fucking look so easily. Where all I have is this fucking.
Yeah, that we could do like a mustache one day. I could see with like the Super Mario mustache.
Oh,
yeah, I could see
Mario?
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
you
thinking
got
like
that.
doing like a fucking big like old school power lifter.
Oh, I
stash.
could see that too. Yeah,
dude,
I'm
like
gonna go
those barbells with the round things on.
Dude,
it.
my shit's getting too long right now.
Your shit is getting, dude. I was noticing that.
Dude, I'm getting a Gandalf beard now. I'm gonna have to fucking cut this thing
bro.
off.
Let it roll.
Nah, I like doing like the mustache with like the fucking like I'm in the fucking like I'm a conquistador going, going to do some shit or whatever the fuck.
Viking. You're
going to get buried in zombie.
Before you do that.
Why?
You should like do like the Viking braid sometime before you fucking.
Oh, I do,
bitch off.
dude. I have enough. I could do it. Look,
that's what I'm saying, bro. What are we doing?
How did mine get longer than yours? Do you get yours trimmed?
I do trim mine, yeah.
Oh.
I do it myself though. It's dangerous, dude.
No, it's funny, man. Like my beard is gray as fuck, but my hair isn't. Like it makes no sense.
I like I'm personally the gray is fucking bad.
Dude, I got the Rob Zombie going on.
You do got the Rob Zombie going on, dude. Like I'm kind of waiting. Like I know it's gonna happen like any day that like mine's gonna start going, and I'm like, I'm okay.
Speaking of Rob Zombie, I bought a lot on eBay which contained a copy of Venus Flytrap. That's why I bought it. But finally, but there was a copy of The Devil's Rejects in there also, which I didn't own on tape, but now I do. So I got House and I got Devil's Rejects. I don't know if any of the others. I don't know if the others did a VHS release. Did they? I don't think so, right?
There's a Japanese one, I think of it, but
like of the other movies, like I don't. Is there a Halloween?
There's a House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah. Devil's Rejects.
Devil's Rejects.
But I think that's it, right?
I don't think there was a Halloween.
Think of my giant water, dude.
I'm aware. Look at this motherfucker, dude. Giant water for your giant fucking beer.
Yeah, look at that.
The bigger the beer, the bigger the water.
There it is. So before we get too deep into the movie, one thing I want to mention that you did pull the clip for is the title card sequence of this movie. This is like peak Cinemax fucking like movie intro, right? This is yeah. Look at that.
Hot rod shit.
This looks like a porno. Right?
I was just thinking that
Twisted
too.
Illusions. In association with Wine Coop. Is it Win Coop or Wine Coop?
I've always said Win Coop, but
Wicked Games.
I mean, even honestly, this name could lead you to believe it could be an adult film still. So
yeah.
he's like,
yeah. Except for the guy in the back. Well, maybe you're into that. I don't know. Maybe you're wearing like a.
I'm not fucking hating.
yeah. But like that kind of lets you know what you're in for, right? Immediately. But then again, it's a Tim Ritter movie, so you kind of know what you're in for. Either way.
You know, and like it's funny because if you were to like just say see Killing Spree, which is my favorite Tim Ritter movie. But I don't think you would fully get a grasp for like Tim has this excellent way of like portraying sleaze that I think is uncanny to like his film.
It's it's very specific, and it's like I want to call it like Florida sleaze.
Dude, yeah, that nails it.
Where how like you had
it
like
reads Florida for sure,
yeah, like,
bro.
Like where you have like fucking Van Beber, right? Like you see like like Dayton is like all dirty and shit. Like it has a very specific look to it, and I feel like something like all these Tim Ritter movies feel like they're in the same town. You know what I mean? Like it's just in on a different block.
Surrounding people, yeah, like
all the same universe.
And it's just like it's sleazy without being like overtly sexual. Like there's like sexy scenes, but like everything is just like the girls are just like overly like bikini topped and shit like
it's
that.
It's like they seem like they're in control. That's why it's not like it's not done in like in a weird
misogynistic way or anything
which
like that.
It sounds like you're like it sounds like that makes no sense, but if you see the movie you'll see what I mean. Like it doesn't come across as like
especially in Creep, dude. Like
that's the opposite.
Well, but I'm just saying like that's like the sleaze that I'm talking about, that like it's not like, this is like, tasteless fucking movie making or anything. Like it's the exact opposite. It's like okay, I guess like a good comparison would be like John Waters, right? It's not like not like a John Waters movie, but like the way that he's able to portray sleaze in a way that's not like just fucking distasteful, but like really funny and awesome. Yeah, like that's Tim Ritter for me in this universe that he creates.
Yeah. One thing I want to mention about this is that like it seems like everybody is involved with a prostitute somehow. Like every single character in the film, like regardless of their background, but I guess it kind of makes sense at the end.
Yeah, everybody's having an affair with a prostitute in this movie for sure, dude. It's the wildest.
I guess that's Florida. I don't know, man.
But like, it really sets up the story, though, really, because like, we have all of these people being killed that we continue to see, and we're like, man, like who could be doing this, quote unquote. But it's like everybody has this connection to these different people, and like potentially have a motive for killing these different people, and it's all connected to these prostitutes and like cheating and stuff like that. So I guess that just goes back to like the sleaze level of like this type of movie.
Dude, he's almost like a Jason Voorhees in this.
Oh yeah, the slasher aspect of this movie I think is
like people doing bad
very
shit.
Apparent
people doing bad shit.
He kills people.
Yeah, get punished. Right? Like that's basically what it comes down to in this.
But this is they get punished, but like this is I think in like those movies where like Jason has just kind of become like a figure of punishment for bad behavior, this is all like motive driven with like revenge. So like the first movie, Revenge, is that case, but in the rest of like, for Tim Ritter's movies, this is just like a revenge killing.
Yeah.
But it's very like slasher vibes, especially with the masked character and everything. I love that copper mask, dude. I think it looks so good.
Well, we have a clip here, right, of him constructing the mask.
This montage might be my favorite fucking thing in the movie, to be honest with you.
It's so weird. For whatever reason, I don't really remember this scene.
It's so good. It's amazing. It's like getting all of his weapons ready.
It's like the Prowler.
Getting the mask.
Look at that. Great. I heard that's where they got the...
I love the shadow.
That's where they got the inspiration for the Russell Crowe mask in Gladiator.
Yeah, this is the one.
Big Truth or Dare fans. Big Truth or Dare fans. But like that's
Tobey
such like
Maguire is
he really? Oh yeah, he
dude,
is. He was on
in that interview.
Was it Tobey Maguire or Elijah Wood?
I get those two confused.
I think it was Elijah Wood. I think he's a big
you're
fan.
Right. You're probably correct.
Yeah, because he did the Maniac remake. He's like all about
little
that
small ones. Yeah. The Maniac kid. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But like that shows like this is like a cool main slasher villain. Like it's a cool like outfit and everything. Tim Ritter does a very good job with that. Like in Day of the Reaper, like that's an awesome fucking outfit for like a killer. This one, like the mask is like super cool. Like, yeah, it's like Jason has a mask too. Michael Myers has a mask, but like this one looks almost like it looks like something you would build in your garage. You know what I mean? Like something.
Comment here that it does give me fucking Carl the Butcher shitter kind of vibes.
Oh yeah, very violent shit type stuff.
Kind of like it's very violent shit.
This one looks like you could actually maybe like get hit in the face and like not get damage done to you. That Carl the Butcher shitter one looks like that one looks like it's made out of fucking cardboard and like aluminum foil, right? Or
but like the design wise, definitely very similar. I can see that.
Yeah. But this whole movie is basically you got this copper masked. I'm gonna have a hard time saying that. Copper masked killer going around just disposing of these people, and it's kind of funny because like I'm not gonna say the movie starts slow because it doesn't, but I feel like it like goes into like fucking warp speed after maybe like a half an hour in. All of a sudden, everybody's just getting killed. It's like kill after kill after kill. Yeah.
But I think the beginning is important, because it sets up some things like there's a great scene where they're explaining like, that this guy, Gary, this alcoholic who's having all these problems, this doctor and fucking Wincoop's character, Dan, the detective, are like, there's these murders happening. There's some signs that potentially might be the copper mask killer and stuff. And like we get some kind of interesting information about Gary that sets up the continuation of the story here.
Anyway, the guy passed out on my car.
There he is, Joel.
Came into the kitchen later, though.
Coop. King Coop.
With a gun in his hand. My gun. Threatening to blow his brains out.
Oh, we're going to get to that scene right after this.
Truth or dare. Sound familiar, Doc?
Mike Strawberry.
Yeah, Mike Strawberry. He broke out of here wearing a copper mask. A lot of innocent people got slaughtered.
But what does that have to do with your friend Gary?
This guy's a great actor.
Mike Strawberry. Our cousins.
Ooh, they're cousins. Damn.
I love the tie-in to like how this connects to the first movie, because this could have been its own thing, right?
Yeah.
They didn't have to have like the truth or dare connection.
Yeah, it could have been a different movie. Yeah,
it could have been its own movie. But to be able to tie it in, being like, nah, dude, like Gary's homie's cousin from the first one, and like there could be a screw loose in the family, and he could easily be just like copying what his cousin did and shit like that. It's a great. I mean, I don't want to call it a red herring because it's kind of not in a way, but it does kind of like make the viewer now all look at Gary.
Is he involved?
What's going on?
Yeah. So let's get to that scene that he's talking about where he's sitting in Joel Wynkoop's fucking kitchen talking to Joel Wynkoop, right? About how fucking, I guess, how shitty his life is, right? And you know what? Let me play the clip and then we'll.
It's so wild.
Yeah,
the lighting on this is like super blue too, so it's a little.
Yeah,
but I actually like the way this kind of like.
Yeah.
Maybe you should do that. Just get it over with. Kill yourself. Like this.
He pulls out like a fucking revolver, puts it to the side of his head. He blows his fucking eye out.
I love this.
It's super dark here. Actually, my VHS looks a little bit better than this.
Don't I look better, Gary?
It's so great.
Joel Wynkoop's such a good actor, man. I love him. But he's such a fucking
it's like
good.
It all plays like this dream sequence and shit like that, and like it kind of like the first time you watch this movie, you're like, man, like what actually is going on? Like, what is reality and stuff like that? Because like this seemed like, it doesn't pull you out of a dream from that at all. It just kind of like goes right into the next scene. So you're watching it and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? And stuff.
Yeah.
But it kind of like does add to the madness that like builds throughout this movie where you're like, man, is this Gary guy really fucking going insane over the loss of his girlfriend?
Yeah.
I mean, we see him go to like the fucking restaurant where like his ex-wife and like her new like husband to be is there and shit. and like she's going off on him, and he breaks the fucking bottle over his head.
Why don't you go get a life? And he breaks the bottle over his head, and he goes, "Why don't you get a life?" And as he leaves, he pisses in the fountain.
Yeah, no, that's
a real Kenny Powers move.
There, like in public. That's what I'm saying. Total Kenny Powers move.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Something that I want to talk about, and I told you specifically to pull this clip, just because I don't know if this is supposed to be funny, but it is, right? Because there is a little comedy in here, if you want it to be there or not. And that's when our masked killer comes out of the hot tub, right? He's completely clothed, but he's in the hot tub waiting to kill her.
She's in there chilling, bro.
Yeah. All right, so let me bust this clip out. You cut this very well too. That we're not gonna get in trouble. I like that. So she like hears a noise or some shit, right? Oh no, she's going to get the beer. And he just comes out. How has he been in there this whole time? How has he been in there?
She's chilling for a minute. Her hair is wet and shit.
Yeah, like he's been like somehow camouflaged in that fucking thing for the last like 20 minutes or
with
so.
A copper
right?
mask on. He's gonna get lockjaw, dude. You better be careful.
Dude, yeah, it starts turning green. Right? He comes out, he's like, ah, shit. Oxidized. He's got to make a new one now.
It's like all oxidized to his skin.
But I always find that scene so fucking funny for some odd reason. There's one other scene that I find really funny, and it reminds me yet again of a, German splatter. And that's when the fucking drunk guy gets his head cut off.
Dude, this is wild. And it happens out of nowhere. Like, it's just like, oh, like, who is this fucking dude? Like,
well, that's the guy. Well, he was visiting those two prostitutes.
Yeah.
And he's like driving drunk home, which is not a good thing to do. And
so this kind of goes back to your whole thing of like doing bad things. You get fucking punished because like he really doesn't have any other connection to the story besides hooking up with these two prostitutes, really.
All right,
there's a connection to the prostitutes.
Look at this shit. Cuts his head up. Die.
I love that voice.
I love that. I love that. Like a bowling ball.
That's
just fucking
best.
like.
That's the best.
Die.
So now if you're anything like me and you're watching this movie, you're trying to figure out who actually is behind this fucking mask and everything. And as I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at this guy, I'm like, all right, this looks like fucking Joel, this Dan character. It doesn't look like Gary. Gary's got long fucking hair and everything.
Yeah.
It's not Gary, right? So like that's throwing me off my first watch because I'm like, well, they're trying to set me up to think that it's Gary. Obviously, it's this Dan character. So like the whole time you're watching it, it does a good job of like setting up this like whodunit situation. It's not an obvious like story, and that's kind of like what I do like about it, where it like keeps you captivated in that way. Like you're super interested in like what the fuck actually is going on.
Yeah, I agree. And like, it's funny because in a lot of these movies, it gets very repetitive. It gets very boring. But this, like, everything is fucking entertaining in this. Every kill is entertaining. Every fucking like interaction between characters is entertaining. There's like,
and the
so
kills
much...
are great. Like,
we
haven't even really gotten started with like how good some of these kills are. There's that like jackass dude who has the chick in the woods. Who's like, basically about to attack her and shit.
He gets his.
Fucking the copper mask. I mean, well, they both get theirs. Unfortunately, still he just beat him to the punch. But fucking this barbed wire scene, I love the way this whole thing unfolds. Because you think she's getting away. She's hiding behind a tree. I love this.
Because he walks away for a second. Nope.
Great.
See, this is also like a Friday the 13th kill.
This is where it reminds me of that a lot.
When he's wrapping the strap around the dude's face. Look at that. Look how brutal that looks. Oh my God. That's a nasty kill. right? And like there's stuff like that throughout the whole movie. Like in that, how many times do you see people getting strangled by barbed wire in a low budget movie? You never see that, right?
And one of the reasons why it looks fucking great is because it's in that Florida sun, dude. It's so
broad daylight
and vibrant and in your face, and it's like it doesn't take away from like it. You couldn't tell me that like it doesn't look somewhat believable.
Yeah,
like, the brightness of that scene doesn't take away from the absolute like brutality of it at all.
I agree.
Only enhances it for me.
Well, what about the fucking sprinkler scene,
dude? This is like another one of these, like, this is probably the most iconic, like, actual kill for me in the movie. There's a lot of good ones. The sprinkler one is off the fucking charts.
Why don't you set the scene for these people?
Well, the lady's out there. Well, she was like not a prostitute, but she was like this girlfriend, basically, that basically told Joel at this one time, this Dan character, that she wasn't into him. You know, it's not get fucking lost. She's dating fucking, Wilford Brimley, this old fucking guy that comes out of the house, which is weird. Yeah. But like, so then we see her out there doing some yard work, and that's the perfect time to be a fucking tech. And this is what we get here, dude. This is very Friday the 13th, like coming up from behind.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you, kind of fucking thing.
Yeah. So he's walking up on a broad daylight also, yet again. He stabs her a couple times. And she lands on the sprinkler. And the sprinkler starts like shooting like
blood out. The blood that comes out of the fucking sprinkler, dude. Are you kidding me?
What a wild kill, right? What a fucking wild thing.
Bravo. Giving him that to do that, yeah. Bravo. That's all around. What I love about that scene is it like takes me back to Day of the Reaper, because it has that like not stop motion, but it's like kind of like that like
stylized
like camera effect to it. That it's awesome. Like I don't know if like some people might not get into that, but like it kind of like it does a good job of hiding some of like the gag of that kill. It makes it more believable for me that it's like actually happening.
Yeah. So as this movie's going, it eventually culminates in actually the first of two wild revelations. So the first one is going to basically be that Joel Wynkoop and the fucking psychiatrist have been murdering people, and they plan to blame it on Gary because Gary's cousin is Mike, and everybody will believe them.
It's this fucking wild thing, man, because like I'm legitimately just expecting that it's this Dan character, that it's Joel, like he's really the killer. He's setting up Gary. But then towards the end of the movie, we see Gary attacking his like ex-wife, and I'm like, holy shit, he's got the long hair. That's fucking definitely Gary in the mask now. So I'm like, what the fuck? And then like fucking Dan's chasing Gary on the beach, and I'm like, well, what the fuck is going on now? And then we realize that it's holy shit. There's more to the story than we thought.
Yeah, and what's funny is like they have another red herring with the fucking psychiatrist because he's like putting cigarettes out on himself throughout the fucking movie and like doing weird shit, like
weird shit. Yeah,
like he's into pain and all that. So they basically decide like, hey, this guy's a nut, sort of. He's cracking up a bit. Let's just blame everything on him and everybody will believe us, right? And that is what you think is the end of the movie, but it's not. Right?
I actually enjoy this little extra twist.
This is the second reveal. Basically, it's all a dream, baby. It's all in the mind of Mike, the original copper masked killer. And Joel Wynkoop, the psychiatrist, and Gary are all doctors in the fucking hospital that he's locked up in. Gary's ex-wife is a nurse or another doctor there. So, like, it's nothing like the movie. It's all made up in his fucking mind. And we get a great final line from Mike. You do hear him speak, right? and it's what you fucking think he's gonna say.
Well, Mike's a little withdrawn today, and I hate to seem like
Look at this guy.
Mike, help us, talk to us.
He looks like he could be like a game show host in like the 90s.
Oh yeah.
Ask questions.
Ask questions. What's he gonna ask?
Does anybody want to play Truth or Dare?
It's Kane. It's gotta be Kane.
Dude, I love that
definitely the
fucking
call.
voice. That voice is so fucking awesome, right? And especially like the mask and everything. There's something about this fucking character that I love, right? Like it's such a good slasher villain. This movie, though, I really like the way that he intertwines all the stories and how really you could believe it's all coming from one person's point of view. That's why things are a little weird. It's like everybody's involved with a prostitute. Everybody's doing fucked up shit. Like you could believe that and why he could kill people in broad daylight without, anything happening to him.
And he does a great job of like really setting up Gary as this like crazy person, and he is, eventually he is actually. Well, I mean, not in reality because it's all based in this fucking head of Mike, the big Turner, the twist or whatever.
Yeah.
But in the actual story we're hearing about, they do a great job of like setting up Gary as being this like maniac, and he does have all these scenes where he's like fucking acting completely insane with his ex-wife. So you're like, yeah, like he's lost it. Gary's boozing, he's fucking losing it. But then you're like doing detective work throughout the whole thing, putting your own pieces together,
Trying to figure out who it is.
that's not adding up. So it's for this level of a movie to be made, with $12,000, it's awesome. The story itself is fucking so well put together and executed in a really put together way for the budget and time that they did it in.
Yeah, and it looks great that it's shot on high 8. Like it looks professional. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like
100%.
it looks a lot better than a lot of the other shot on video films that we made. This tape is pretty widely available, right? I don't think it's like insanely expensive. Like it's over $50, but
yeah.
I'm not sure. I haven't looked recently. I got mine a long time ago because this movie's fucking a very, very, very good movie.
Worth it. Yeah.
If you've never seen the first one, I would probably advise you to watch it first, right? Would you say you should probably watch the first movie before this?
Well, it gives. I mean,
because you won't get the twist.
If you want to know
don't.
like who Mike is and stuff like that, it definitely helps. But I will say that like if you were to watch this not seeing the first one, you could still like really appreciate it and understand like, all right, obviously there was this maniac before, because they do a good job of setting up something happened in the past where a lot of people died, and this guy, and stuff like that, who's cousins of this guy. So there's enough information there to like pull in on your own. However, I think it is like a great first time watch to do Truth or Dare and then follow up with this, because they're two completely different movies, like a different vibe, altogether.
Viano Films, our boy Viano, what's up, man? He said, I just saw one go for like $50-$60. What's a first Truth or Dare go for? A regular one, Critical Madness. That's what I'm interested in now. Chris, don't you have a couple? Don't you have a couple like? Do you have those like Euro copies and stuff still? You had a couple that had some cool fucking covers.
Yeah, I had the European like Truth or Dare and stuff like that. It's a Spanish one, and there's like 2 Spanish variants.
What's it called? Eliminator or something?
Yeah, it's called Eliminator. Everybody has the one Eliminator VHS, and Tim is like, you're the only person I've seen that is like found. He's like, I've never seen that one and shit like that. That's like the super hard to find fucking thing, and it's the coolest cover. And I'm like, why would they not choose this cover? It's got like the killer on the front with like the knife like up in the air, like over his head and shit. It's like a classic, almost like Halloween type cover where you're like, man, that's iconic looking and shit.
Yeah. I wonder if like
there's other ones besides the first movie.
So Viano says 80 to 120 depending.
That's supposed to be like $100.
Yeah, that's about right. I wonder if like because of the blandness of the original tapes like cover art, it just basically says Truth or Dare with the razor, and it's like in a foil type print. I wonder if that like kind of hurt it a little bit.
It's tough to say, man, because like I know that was like, I guess that was Peerless's whole deal, like to put it out that way and everything. But I do feel like you would have got more out of it if you had a little bit more of like a graphic cover, especially for the time. The movies that were like, out and pushing hard. Gore was like a big thing at the time. Fangoria's up and popping and shit. So it's like, put something that's going to pull that crowd in because they deserve to see that movie.
And
whereas I think the all black with just the logo with the foil label and stuff, it looks, it's interesting. You might, wonder what it is. But I don't think like a kid going in there to like get a movie for the weekend is going to be like, that's the one.
Yeah. Are you going to take that over, fucking Return of the Living Dead or something like that? You know what I mean? Like as a kid, like you're purely looking at covers. Like you don't know what you're getting with that one.
That's what it was for me. I was looking at covers,
Yeah, of course. Well, there was no internet for us until maybe like the late 90s. So you were going off magazines and things you've seen in the store and all that shit. Creep is another one that I think you should pick up if you can. There's multiple versions of that movie. I'm lucky enough to have the tape that has like the fucking the more explicit version, because that other version never actually made it to tape, I don't think, right? The one that he sent you?
The disc that I sent.
Yeah.
You have that, that disc has like a very like almost like Cinemax type porn like version of Creep that is like amazing to watch. It is so intense. But I personally love Creep. It's up there as like my second favorite Tim Ritter movie. Killing Spree though is the creme de la creme when it comes to Tim films, in my opinion. That's like the hallmark of gore. It is the perfect low budget gore movie, in my opinion. It's ridiculous in every possible way.
Getting to meet Asbestos Felt
wild.
Was like fucking, that's wild shit. So nice, cool fucking guy, tripping balls.
Legitimately could have been one of my family members.
Yeah,
like,
you guys look related.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I have his fucking picture signed and up on my fucking wall in the other room. What a wonderful thing. EK says he has a signed slip of Creep by Joel, and he wrote Breast of Luck.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's classic Joel. For sure.
Yeah, that sounds like a Joel Wycoop thing. But that was Wicked Games, Truth or Dare 2. What a fucking awesome movie. Definitely, I would say I'm going to nominate this for a Bad Taste Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
Me, dude. This is so fucking good.
This movie's awesome. Super underrated. I feel like this movie should probably be watched by more people, because like what you've seen today, like it's not even the half of it, because we can't show a lot of the stuff because of, nudity or things like that. There's hanging dong. You get to see that stuff. There's all sorts of wild shit.
Awesome bathtub gore. But I mean, there's nipple galore in it. I tried, but I was like, this is too risky.
Yeah, we're not taking that risk. We're not taking that risk.
But dude, thank you also again to Tim for putting an introduction video for us last minute today. You're the fucking man, dude. We appreciate you as always helping out with the show.
Of course. Can't wait to have you on again.
Fucking awesome movies. Yeah, let's plan something soon.
And we're still talking about all these years later, right? Weren't even fucking old enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't 18 when those movies were coming out, but you know what? We saw them anyway. Right. But that was Wicked Games, Truth or Dare 2. But now it's time to head over to the wide world of metal. Grizz, what do we got this week, man?
So we are going to actually be doing, it's a split album. We're only going to be covering half of the split because we're going to be covering the other band in a couple of weeks here on a new release that they just did. But this band is called Golem of Gore. Great fucking name. They are an Italian gore grind band, and their love for horror films is very apparent. This is exactly hearing music like this and albums like this. It gives me faith for gore grind in the future, man, because the genre itself for a while really fell off. There wasn't anybody doing it. It was kind of like it was disappointing to say the least, in my opinion. But there's been a resurgence recently. All the people that went to Hard Slam, I think, are starting to graduate a little bit back towards the gore grind way, and we're getting some really cool fucking shit. This particular half of the split with Lipoma that it was, there's no name for it. It's just the Lipoma Golem of Gore split, but some killer fucking songs on here, man. What do you think of this sound of like the production of this album altogether?
I was actually pretty shocked because when I listened to the first song, I was like, all right, it's like long form fucking, what's it called? Gore grind type shit. It's like, okay, like it's going, but for whatever reason, as it like got into it, it got better and better.
A little more,
better,
it's a little bit more
better.
Right?
Yeah, it's so fucking weird. Like I'm not lying. Like first song, I'm like, all right. Like, yeah, this is all right. Sounds like a
typical
lot of
Grizz fucking gore grind stuff.
Yeah, because like the production, like for me, when I'm listening to stuff that has like a lot of blasts and all that stuff, like I feel like I need a lot of low end to it, and I feel like this doesn't really have that. You know what I mean? Compared to say like last week's recording, where it's like very, it's got that low end, and you kind of feel it. This one doesn't really have that. But it has something else, and that's fucking awesome drumming that like I feel like there is a drummer, right? Like there is a drummer.
100%.
I feel like that takes fucking precedence over like the other fucking instruments, and the dude's a beast.
It does. Yeah, and I think the low end production is kind of set up the way that it is to allow that kind of range to be taken up by the vocalist and his pitch shifting, because
Makes
it
sense.
is very, very low. And for me, I don't hear a lot of like gore grind bands that are produced this way and produced this well. So to hear this much like time put into it and like really dialed in, it's real fucking awesome. Let's start out with Secreting Sperm Into is the track title. This one here, I think will give you a good idea of like the intensity that the band's going to come with it most of the time. So, like with this, I can kind of hear where you would be like, all right, this sounds like the gore grind that you would be expecting in a way,
Yeah.
And it is. There is that like traditional fucking blast beat, pitch shifted gutturals that are just like over the fucking top, which is why I initially absolutely love this shit. But then what we're going to show you here, and this is kind of why I picked the album, is they just released this video recently from a song off of this split, and the song's called Open Wounded Corpse. And this gives you the other end of like what I think Mike is talking about, where there's a little bit more to this, and there's some dynamics and some drumming that really kind of is like, dude, holy shit.
It's like, damn. And we got the video. Awesome vocalist, though.
Those doubles are so nice.
I'm into it, man. I'm into it. EK says that snare is tuned as tight as it can go. Sounds nice. Cuts through the distortion. Right. That's what you need,
There's
man.
There's a fucking bikini bottom that would break, baby. That thing is snapping. I fucking love the way that shit sounds.
When you're blasting like that, you gotta do it that way. Just dude, like fucking
that shit
strings.
Makes fucking Lars's butthole wet when he fucking hears a snare like that, dude. He is ready for action. That is so fucking good.
No, but like I really feel like as this like their half of the split goes on, it gets like better and better. You know what I mean? Like I really do feel like it builds. Maybe it just takes a little getting used to. Because I don't listen to as much gore grind as you do. You know what I mean? I mean, like I listen to mostly like fucking Mortician and shit. Like that's the type of stuff that I'm listening to daily. But
which I think helps like get you into this world a little bit. Like if you listen to just straight like old school death metal, you'd have a little bit of a harder time but Mortician is like that good in between of like,
Yeah.
it's death metal, but it's also sped the fuck up. It's got the ridiculous blast and shit. So it's a good middle ground for you to be
Yeah.
able to understand what they're trying to do here.
Yeah, but I did enjoy this. I would listen to it again. I actually would like to see them. This is another band. Like, I would like to see this live. I'm
It'd be great
curious.
live. I can promise you.
I'm really curious. Check them out. Grizz, where could they find them?
This particular album is not on Spotify, but they do have all their other catalog of stuff on there. But this album is on YouTube. Also check out the other band on here, Lipoma, another great fucking gore grind band. So if you're into this kind of stuff, listen to this whole album. The split itself is great. But check out Golem of Gore on Bandcamp. Fucking hit them up on there and buy some shit from them. Really good shit. And it's Italian gore grind, dude. It's like there's so many good fucking bands coming out of like these places like Italy and shit, like Fulci a few years ago, and now I'm finding bands like this and shit. It's like
They're out there.
fuck.
It's not just
fuck
here,
yeah,
man.
dude. I'm so stoked.
Yeah,
So stoked for it.
yeah, it's really awesome to like think about how there's all these other scenes in these other countries, and like you have no fucking clue. Like you have
That's
to,
great.
You have to go
'Cause,
out
we
there and
get shit like this, man.
yeah, you got to use that similar artist feature on your whatever music app you use, right?
Dig. I fucking dig. I try to find something that you guys hopefully either like are just finding out about or don't know about. Like, I don't want to give you the fucking New Century Media, Season of Mist, fucking Napalm fucking records. I don't want to give you that shit. I mean, that's out there. We could cover fucking the new Cannibal Corpse shit all fucking day. But I would like to, hopefully give you guys something that you don't know about and you can get really fucking into. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like with Viano, dude, that dude, I know what he's into. We talk about music. I sent him a great fucking album today. So if you talk to me, you like fucking give me a little bit of an idea of like the shit that you like. I promise you, I come across so much new shit. I will show you some cool albums in that genre for sure.
Hell yeah. So next week, we're going to be doing a very special movie, one that I fucking could not wait to do on here.
It's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's going to be Despiser. I'm not sure if people are really familiar with that movie, but it's basically a live action film mixed with a Sega Dreamcast cutscene, which is a fucking great explanation of how it is.
I've not seen it. I've heard tales of the ridiculousness that is this movie. So I am excited. I'm nervous. I don't know what to expect, but I think that it's going to be a wild fucking ride from everything that I've heard.
I'm going to say you're going to like it. I think you're going to like
I
it.
feel like I would, dude.
I
From
think
what
you
you've
will.
already told me, I feel like I'm going to be dialed into this one.
Yeah, I think you're going to like that. And that's going to be Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at youtube.com/@badtastevideopodcast, which it's linked at our website at www.badtastevideo.com. We also have our Discord link there. Please join that. We want to try to make a community for people to trade, talk fucking tapes, talk movies, do whatever. We thought that would be pretty fucking cool. We have a Patreon. We just added a new Patreon video where we spoke about
Weird new horror movies.
yeah,
dude.
modern horror. Yeah. We're
Don't
talking
hear me
some modern
bitch for
horror.
fucking 20 minutes.
It was only like 5
No, it
minutes
wasn't
of
that.
bitching,
It
and it
wasn't
was
that.
yeah. You'd be surprised of the movies that we actually enjoy. Some things will shock you, especially with Grizz. I feel
Think
like
so?
yeah, I
Shocked?
feel like I'm a little shocked at some of those.
Shooketh.
You have to join the Patreon to see adding
Right.
new shit on there. I had to take a few old videos down because I got some copyright fucking warnings, and now we can I can't just trash the YouTube anymore. I have to actually take care of it and not fuck us over like Twitch. Fuck you, Twitch. Do you guys miss Twitch or no? Or do you like YouTube better?
I fucking
Yeah, I don't
Twitch,
either.
fuck that.
But I think that just about wraps it up because it looks like Grizz is starting to glitch into another dimension. He might be joining the Despiser universe in a
Feel
second.
like it, dude.
But
Spaced out.
Grizz, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram at Kane_enabler.
And you could find me at Bad Taste Video. You can find everything we do at www.badtastevideo.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube page, youtube.com/@badtastevideopodcast. It's also linked on our website, which is also linked through my Instagram. So it's very easy to find us. Like I said again, join our Discord so we could all fucking hang out, talk shit. You still got that Facebook page going? Is that thing still fucking
It's
doing
still
anything?
around, yeah, dude. You can get on there and check it out. There's some stuff happening once.
We're on that shit somewhere, and our Patreon to support us so I could fucking keep the lights on in this bitch.
Patreon's the important one. That's the one. You don't worry about the Facebook. You go to Patreon and get that extra content, baby.
Give us that
That's where it's
$2 a
at.
month. Give us that shit. Come on. We've earned it at this point. Come on, just help us out. Help us out. I want to see a big money donor. Where's our big money donor? You know, like how Shawn Michaels had that person that left him like millions of dollars.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, like where's ours? Where's like the person that's gonna leave us like
What
$1
do
million?
they call
bucks?
that person? They always mention. I can't remember the name they always give it now.
Oh, I don't know.
Like in all the documentaries and shit, they always call it something. He's a beneficiary. That's what it is.
Yeah. Of somebody's life insurance policy that he never fucking met. Like everything was left to him, right? That's wild.
Man.
That's fucking wild. Somebody do that for us, please, so we could build a giant compound and start the actual Bad Taste Video double cross studio.
The video.
The cult. You would have to be a moron to follow us to listen to anything. Yeah. I'm gonna listen to you. You're going to tell me what to do?
I barely follow myself.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
by the way, I know we always like kind of bullshit at the end, but I want to mention this is the first episode in about 3 years that I'm doing this without a kidney stone in my body. Amazing.
Dude, you probably feel great. You should have seen the one that came out of him, too. It was a goddamn asteroid, dude.
I passed a kidney stone last Friday. I don't know if you've noticed how fucking pale I've looked lately, but that's probably why. But I'm a free man. I'm feeling fucking great. What can you do now?
Stay away from the Mountain Dews. That's all I can tell you, man. Ease up.
That's why I got this shit. Giant ass.
My bad.
Drink that water.
Right there.
So I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank the chat for coming. Thank you for participating. I want to thank all our patrons for signing up, all our subscribers on YouTube, all our subscribers on your local podcast network, because we still remember you guys are out there. Even though you don't want to, just come watch us on YouTube. We do it Tuesday night. You can watch the episode be recorded live instead of waiting till Thursday to listen to it. Or you could go to the YouTube page and just go, you could go watch it when on the rerun, unlike Twitch, which fucking takes it off after 2 weeks. That was stupid as fucking hell. But, you know,
I
whatever.
also want to thank Mike's Kidney Stone for making an appearance last week. So shout out to him.
Yeah. Goodbye. I hope to never see you again. Yeah. Have a nice fucking afterlife. But I want to thank everybody again. We will see you next week with... Despiser.